Back in the command line we go. And now we are going to learn how to make files and folders using the command line. So let's start with the command mkdir, which is used to create a folder. And to see how it works, we will go to my desktop by typing cd desktop, and in my desktop let's start typing mkdir space, and after space we just type a name for the folder we want to create, and let's say folder. And as you can see, a new folder just appeared on the desktop called folder. Let's make another one called folder 2, and again we see another item popping on the desktop. To delete a folder, the command is rmdir space name of the folder you want to delete, and let's go ahead and delete folder 2. After we hit enter, the name folder 2 on my desktop should disappear, and as you can see, it did. And now let's go inside the first folder we created. If you want to create a simple text file, you can use the command touch space and the name of the file. So let's type text list, and now in our folder we have a new file called text. If we go ahead and click it open, you will see that this folder contains a file named text, an empty file. Let's say that you would want to save an output of a command because you would like to gather information about your operating system. You actually have the capability of saving any output of a command you want to execute in the terminal by pressing the greater sign and the name of the text file you want to save it as. So let's say, for example, you would like to save the output of the command ls. To do that, you put greater than sign and then type the name of the file you want to save the output in. So let's type file, and as you can see, a new file has been created on our desktop called file. If we open it, you can see that it listed the output that would be normally displayed in the command terminal. One important aspect when using greater than sign: if you want to write more outputs on the same file, by using a single greater sign, you will actually overwrite the text that you saved earlier. So if you want to add a second, a third, and a fourth output without overwriting, you would have to use two greater signs, one after another, after you type the command. So let's try typing an advanced version of list. Let's type ls minus la, greater sign, file. If we open file, oh, it was already open, and it says file was modified by another program, and this is because I just added new content in this file by typing two greater signs. Let's close it and open it again, and we have more stuff. So this was the first output we wanted to put in the file, and this is the second one that was written right below it. Now remember, if you just used a single greater than sign, this output would have just overwritten this one, and it would have basically looked like this. So yeah, that's how you save command outputs to a file. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention about removing. If you have a folder that has other subfolders and files created in it, to remove both the folder and all of its content, you would need to use the command rm -r for recursive, and then type the name of the folder. In this case, we will delete the one on our desktop. Hit enter, and it disappeared. Alright, moving on with something else. Let's try copying a file. To copy a file, you use the command cp, and let's copy the text file that we saved our commands on earlier. So let's type file, and when you copy a file, besides the fact that you must specify the name of the file you want to copy, you have to input a new name for the file you want to copy so that they don't have the same name. So let's make a copy of file and call it file2. And as you can see, a new text file appeared called file2 besides our first one. And if we open it, you will see that it's the exact same content. Okay, so we know how to create and delete a file. We know how to create and delete a folder. We know how to copy a file in a folder. Let's see how we can move a file or a folder. To move a file, let's say we want to move the picture pic1 to the folder test. We type mv, name of the file, the folder we want to move it to, slash the name of the file again. And if we hit enter, we see that pic1 disappeared from our desktop and moved to the folder test. If you find yourself in the situation where you have two similar files and want to know if there is any difference between them, you can use the command diff to highlight any difference that can exist between the two files you're comparing. So in our case, let's open the name file2 and change something in it. Let's add some numbers and save it. And since both file and file2 are similar but a little bit different now, let's compare them and see the result we can get. After diff, you just hit space and type both of the file names that you want to compare. So let's write file and file2. Hit enter, and as you can see, the differences are highlighted where I typed extra numbers in file2. If you want to rename a file in the shell, there is no specific command for this operation. So in order for you to actually change a file name, you have to utilize the command for moving a file. So let's say that we want to rename the other picture on our desktop called pic2 into something else. We just type mv pic2 space, and now we just type the name that we want pic2 to be renamed as. So let's type this is a png pic. and as you can see, the file disappeared because it was moved and reappeared in the same place but with a different name. You can see it's now placed on the upper left side of the screen, and it now has the name we just typed. This is a PNG pic. It's a little weird and counterintuitive, but that's how you rename files in Linux using the terminal. And the last thing I want to show is how you can search for specific words in a file, for example. So let's just open this text file. Now let's say, for example, that we want to search for the word directory. What we do is we just type the command grep, the word we want to search for, and we said we want to search for directory, and then the name of the file that we want this word searched, so file. And as you can see, it outputted that in the text file there is the word directory in the line that it just showed me. And now that you know how to manage files and folders in the command line, I will see you in the next video.